I'm wearing a very ceremonial outfit today.
Go you.
Apologize to the USC fans that are out there. Sorry, guys.
Let's hope the guys in Washington are ready for us tonight.
Hey, this is Crown Council live stream. We're really grateful to come to you live from Salt Lake City. This is our opportunity to connect with our Crown Council community. We've got some incredible guests out there that we've lined up for you today. Let me just run through them real quick. So Tanya Bailey will join us from Dr. Rich Boatman's office. They're up first. Then we'll have a resource partner that joins us. Then we're going to have our audio-visual team from the annual event join with us. And we're going to ask a specific question, which is why or how, she goes to meetings all over the world. How is our meeting different, and why should a dentist go? What does she think? And then we've got a really fun big announcement with Blake Hadley, who's going to join us from My Social Practice about Smiles for Life in 2023. So
Yeah, we've been working on that for a long time.
yeah. Hey, so right now we've got a humanitarian team. They are in the Dominican. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
This is Dr. Allison Lesko on the bus.
So they did some careful counting. We did get more than 76, so that was really good. So good job. We got a few more than that though. I heard one of the hygienists saw like 20 patients maybe on herself. I don't know. 18. Well, that definitely helped us push us over the edge because we did 113. Awesome job. 113 para los que no hablan inglés y no soy 113.
So that's on the Crown Council Facebook page. They just posted, obviously finishing up today with their clinic and wrapping up the trip. So really fun to see that group in the Dominican today. So
It's been almost 2 years,
yeah,
and everybody should know we're doing 5 humanitarian trips in the next 5 months, and we will have between Guatemala and the Dominican Republic over 200 members of the Crown Council and their families and teams.
wow.
Going to the Dominican Republic and Guatemala, and the 2 trips in March are already full. It's an amazing response to getting back to humanitarian work.
Very cool. Hey, we've got Rachel in today. There's a big question that always comes up about the annual event. Hey, I see the meeting starts on Friday, but what is this check-in on Thursday, and do I need to go to it? So we invited Rachel on for just a minute to explain what happens Thursday at the annual event and why a team has to be there.
So it's really been interesting to watch our event check-in over the years. It's kind of morphed into this all-day party. It's not just come pick up your check-in packet and stay for a couple minutes. It's much more. It's a place where you can come hang out and have fun and talk and see old friends, make new friends, stay as long as you want. This year we're planning to do a kind of a tour of Utah.
Yes.
So it's just going to have all activities and things that are unique to Utah. So winter games, activities, art projects, service projects, music, dessert, photo ops. It's just an all-day party. And
Is it true that you're trying to build an indoor tubing hill?
That might be true.
Careful.
That might be true. We're working on that.
I would say, like Rach is saying, this is not like a check-in. You're not going and grabbing a bag and a name tag and then this is really an experience. It's an opportunity for your team to kick off being at the annual event. Rach, if you were going to tell people, like, what time is when do they arrive Thursday?
So check-in is from 11 till 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And I mean, some teams will come for a half an hour. Some teams will stay for 3 to 4 hours and just have fun and talk to everybody. And so it just depends on
Fun.
cool winter swag that I'm excited about. And we also are going to have a professional photographer, Brittany Nilsson, who some of you probably know. She is going to set up a professional portrait studio at check-in. So you and your team can get your professional pictures taken if you need them for social media or your website or just to hang up in the office. She's really good. And that would be a huge benefit if you wanted to have those done at check-in.
Nice.
I would say as a Crown Council team and the TOPS team, this is our favorite time at the event because we get to see everybody finally in person and catch up and have fun together. It's my favorite day,
Nice.
the event. Yeah.
I agree.
Very cool. Rach, we're going to have Natalie back on in the show. Maybe you can rejoin us at that time to come back on.
Sure.
Okay, great. Come back when Natalie's on. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
Hey,
you.
Rach, thanks.
See you later.
Hey, bye. All right, we're going to welcome Tanya Bailey into the show for our TOPS Coaches Corner. This is our opportunity to connect with one of the TOPS coaches who is out in the field working with practices. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Stuart.
Oh, look
Man.
at all those cute people.
You got the whole crew.
Yeah, and there's some hiding on either side too.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is our opportunity to connect with the coaches from TOPS and the awesome teams that they are visiting with week to week. So if you didn't know it, they are out coaching all over the country all the time, and they are always in someplace new. And so this is our Coaches Corner where we get to connect with one of our awesome members of the Crown Council. So Tanya, tell us where we are today.
So we are in Troy, Illinois, which is just outside of St. Louis, with literally the best practice in America.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Dr. Boatman here and Dr. Spencer, we were just talking about how long they've been practicing between the two of them. Let's just say they have a lot of years of experience.
A lot of years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
They have an amazing team, and we talked this morning about compelling benefits. They do everything here in-house, from Invisalign to implants to IV sedation. They do everything.
Very cool. Hey, maybe this is a good question for Dr. Boatman. What have you guys worked on in the last year? What have been your biggest challenges that your team has had to either overcome or really focus on over the last year?
Oh, that would definitely be Delta Dental, getting ready to depart. I've been in network with them for 35 years, and to do it correctly, we're in a great position to do it. And it's a lot of work, but Tanya and the entire TOPS team, they're helping us get through that. That's what we're focusing on today. We gave Delta notice on July 1st. We will be out of network January 1st, and we are very, very excited about that.
Ooh.
Very cool. Nice.
As you should.
Yes, as you should. Dr. Spencer, maybe this can kind of transfer to you then. Besides that, what have been your biggest wins in the past year? What have you guys really focused on that the team has won?
I think that our biggest win is that the way that everything's gone in the economy and staffing issues, we've been able to maintain our same production collection, and it even increased a little bit from last year. So I think just team training with tops, just really working on, our systems and staying on top of our game. We've been really successful this year.
Nice, very cool. Tanya, can we ask the team questions? Are they? Is that legal?
They said yes.
I saw a couple of them just bail out there,
You would
Stu.
ask.
Hey, I want to know. Why is from the team? I think it'd be really fun to hear from them. What is it about this practice that patients love?
That's so interesting, Stuart, because we have been talking about that actually all morning.
Oh boy.
You want to come be our spokesperson, Taylor?
No.
Mandy?
You got that, girl.
Come on, Kenny.
Come on,
Okay.
talk
Our
loud.
patients come to us because we offer the IV sedation. They don't have to be referred out to other offices for any endo extractions, implants, any of that. We're up to date on the latest technology. They love our microscope, our hygiene program, No More Hygiene. We do that, and our patients love it. It's a great protocol. Friendly staff, thorough exams.
I call them Hall of Fame, Stuart. This is,
Nice.
we're the Hall of Fame for dental staffs. They would be the inaugural inductees, for sure.
Very cool. Tanya, how about you? You tell us what makes this team great.
Oh my gosh. One of the things this team does so well, their culture and their team unity is like unlike anything I see. As I look around this room, I've been coming here for several years, and by and large, it's all the same people. And I think a lot of practices today are, struggling to keep great team members. And when I think about what I know about these people is their camaraderie, their family orientation, they have fun together. This is an incredibly busy practice, as you can imagine. And yesterday, during the day with patient care, they are like skipping down the halls, having a great time, and working hard. So I think that's a big part of it. And of course, these two guys right here, their leadership and just the environment they've created for their team is amazing.
Very cool. Dr. Boatman, maybe talk about your leadership for a minute. Is that something that you came naturally, or is that something you work on?
No. I've been here 33 years. A lot of these team members here have been with me almost 20 years, and they will tell you I was not a born leader in any way, shape, or form. That was something that I've had to develop over time, and with their help and with their input. And there are times when they told me, sometimes that's hard to take, but that's how we learn. And
Very cool.
I
Absolutely.
became a better leader because of these guys.
Nice. Any questions, Greg, for the team?
No, I think that's a real testament to you, Dr. Boatman, Dr. Spencer. It means that you have built a culture that is worth following. And anytime you can retain your people, it is a tremendous credit to you guys. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
I know Tanya's had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Nothing at all.
No,
She's
All
one
right.
of the great ones, isn't she?
yes,
it's
absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
All right, final question. What are you guys working on then today? What's the focus today?
You want to answer that or you want me to? Well, they are going live as being an unrestricted provider on January 1st. And so we've already worked previously on the conversations the doctors are having with all of their patients. And today, being 2 months out, we're in the nitty gritty of how we're going to work through all the systems, the verbal skills, and the processes to retain as many of those Delta patients as possible so that they understand this is still a great place to be a patient.
Very cool.
You guys
Hey.
have a great day.
Yeah, so grateful you spend a few minutes with us. Grateful you've been part of Crown Council, and hopefully everybody will follow your example. Grateful for you guys.
I'll see you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
guys.
thanks. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Tanya. Bye. Dang, I want to do that. That's awesome.
They are good people.
That is so good. Very fun. Hey, Tanya, that was Tanya's second time. She got the hang of that. That was smooth. Very good.
She
Good job,
is
Tanya.
so good. Sounds like she's been talking herself to death. She
I know her voice.
sounded like she was about worn out.
Very cool. Hey, we're gonna welcome in a partner, a resource partner guest. This is Carson Pace and Scott Broadbent from Acquire Consult. They are a group advisor, financial advisor group, and as they're coming in, I'll talk a little bit about them. When you go to their website, one thing that I love when you go to a website like this is they've got their mission statement, which is one of the first things that I'm going to ask them about when they join us. It says here that they value every single one of our clients and tailor each plan, conversation, meeting, phone call, and voicemail to these people. I really like that statement when it comes to connecting with their customers and unlocking wealth and providing support along the way. So, hey, Scott. Wait, Scott, is that a Ute shirt? What are you wearing, Scott?
It's not a Ute shirt.
Scott!
There's Nike on it.
That's going good. Hey, we were just talking about your website, introducing you guys a little bit. I love this part on the beginning of your website where it says wealth is more than money. Maybe you could talk about that for a sec, Scott. What real wealth is?
Well, I mean, depends on how you call real wealth. I mean, friends and family is real wealth. But real wealth is there's a lot of people that are leveraged to the hill out there and trying to just survive. And that's not really wealth. Wealth is when you look at the cash you've got in your bank and how much flexibility you have. And your ability, in my opinion, from a tax standpoint, is how good are the planners and the other people from a professional standpoint, your mentors, if you will. That's really wealth because you can do anything you would like to in this world from a professional standpoint if you have the right mentor groups and good planners. Hey, good tax planners and people that help you take advantage of what is good, vanilla, and out there is, in my opinion, one of the most key things when you're trying to build a business and eliminate wealth. We had a doctor out in Georgia. It's been with me almost 7 years now, and 4 or 5 practices, endodontist, wonderful lady, and is almost completely out of debt now. So, when we're talking about wealth and she wants to eventually sell her practice, that's a big deal. And us meeting and working with her CPA and pulling that dynamic together really made that happen in that time frame.
Very cool.
I know we've all, excuse me, I know we've only got just a few minutes here together, but I'm wondering if you could tell us what the biggest traps are you see when you're dealing with a dentist. What is the hardest thing for them to do?
The hardest thing for them to do is so dentists are such a unique person in the medical field. Everybody needs them, right? So they live their life with people chasing, I need you for this, I need you for this. The toughest part for them is how to find what they need for themselves, right? How do I get the help I need to get where I want to go? I mean, how many dentists do you know have been in practice for 10 years and are still in student debt, still in other debt, and are still trying to work through, and they look up and they've worked their guts out and they go, I thought I would be wealthy. And I thought I'd have more Friday afternoons off, and I thought this, and I thought that, and working with the right people and taking a little, people always say take a little bit of time to focus on you, but when it comes from a business standpoint, it's a really good thing to do.
I love that.
Thank
Hey,
you.
although that is Scott talking, that is Carson in the other box, but it says it's Scott.
Yeah.
What's up, Carson?
How are you?
He's
Very
the more
good.
handsome one, and that's why he's Scott's.
Nice.
He's our eye candy.
Very cool. Hey, well, I know
Scott's the
that.
brains, I'm the brawn.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh.
Perfect combo. That's great. Hey, I know there's been a lot of talk about R&D tax credits, especially amongst our group. Maybe just explain for everyone like what it is. What does that mean, an R&D tax credit?
That's a great question. It's one we get a lot. And so ask yourself this question, Stuart. in your, and if you're on the Crown Council, Greg, in your practice, in the last 3 to 5 years, have you done anything to improve your patient experience? Are you adding things to your practices? Are you bringing in and developing better techniques? Are you getting good CE? And does that translate to a better patient outcome? If you are doing that, you qualify for research and development. It's really that simple. Most people think, Stuart, when they think of R&D, they go back to 1981 when it originated, and they think cancer research, published journal articles. They think of all of that stuff. And in reality, with the PATH Act, it was designed for those who wanted to improve their current practices and improve their patient experience. And so the IRS gave it a very broad definition. And they put $55 billion. That was the budget for R&D last year. Any guesses, Greg, on how much of it was actually used, though?
10%? 20%?
7.
7. Wow.
And so they actually have moved the code from section 41 to 174 and said, listen, you guys, it's broader based than you think. We need people that are really serious about R&D in the US. And so they've made it even easier to access. Yeah.
Nice. So if I'm a doctor interested, maybe explain that process.
So if you're a doctor interested, I mean, there's going to be 3 easy steps. Can I share something real quick on the screen?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So you just have to go through this test. This is what the IRS requires of you. They say, listen, permitted purpose. So that comes back to our original question, right? What are you doing to improve your patient outcomes? How are you eliminating uncertainty? What kind of things are you experimenting with? What new equipment have you added? What new techniques are you doing? What is I always like to think of it like a movie. Greg, if I walk into your office and I want to take a movie of you in your life, give me your highlight reel, right? We're not going to show every little thing you do, but I am going to show your best techniques, the new little nuances. I'm going to show all of those things, and I'm going to highlight that up for you. And then the technological nature really references the scientific method with which we approach it, which we come in with a hypothesis. The patient is here at X. The patient wants to get to Y, and how are you getting them from there to there? And so you get to take a dentist, because the dentist world, as we know, is constantly improving. You're always getting new things added into what you're doing. Well, and if you're completely stagnant and 10 years ago you're using the exact same scope that you're doing now and the same impression that, hey, R&D is not for you. But if you have progressed over the last 3 to 5 years and added and done and improved, and the outside lab that you've looked at and the crown materials that you use, if you've improved those and the technique with which you addressed it, then this is really up your alley. And you quantify it, and this is what everybody asks, well, how do I do it? We take and we look at the wages, the supplies, and if you have outside contractors, some people do, most don't in the dental space, but a handful do. And then we take the time on your wages and the supplies, and that's how we quantify that into an actual R&D amount. And so when you go through there, you got to get oriented, and somebody's got to find your highlight reel. We have a medical team that discovers what you're doing that is incredible, and then we collaborate back and forth with the dentist. And every dentist right here says, man, that sounds like it could be a lot of work for me. The answer is it usually works out to be 2 lunches, maybe 2.5, if we've got to get into a few other things. But that's about it to really do it. Our medical writing team already knows what dental does. We already do a ton of these. And so when they say, hey, we're headed down this path and here's what I'm doing, we already know how to highlight that and make them look like a superstar in a write-up. And it looks, yeah, and this is the part that is really fun. Stuart, when I'm talking with CPAs around the country, one of the things they always want to know is, how are you defending me when I get audited? What is this going to look like, right? And how do I know that I'm using a company that is established and puts together a great product? Because we see fly by night stuff, and you see that, but then you see some of these people that put together a really good quality. So this is a little sample. This was on an orthodontist. They were changing their bracket system out for a completely new system. And we highlighted about 94 pages of material, essentially highlighting that in their practice, and then about another 20 pages of supporting documentation. So I wanted to show you what this looked like. So we looked at, and that might be a little small. Let me make that just a hair bigger. So we looked at inside of their bracket system, the lingual displacement. We looked at the arch wire shaping that was changed, the primer, the bite block, the adhesive work. All of those became qualifying research activities or highlight moments when they were making the changes that we wanted to study. And if I'll just kind of break it down and show you what one of those looks like. So this was one that was the development evaluation of the new bracket wire and the adhesive combinations in the supervision guidance and correction of dentofacial structures. And so we had an intro. We looked at when the patient comes through the practice, how do they get assessed? What protocols are used inside of the office? And how do we differentiate their treatment? That helps us kind of give every patient that custom care that they want. And then what were the training techniques? Is when you're doing R&D, when our dentists do it for the first year, Greg, it's good. But they get so excited and they start to add more things to their practice. They go to different CE with a different look and they go, hey, I'm going to take my employees and we're going to implement a monthly training and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we see dental offices, because let's recognize the elephant in the room. There's a lot of dental offices. And everybody's trying to differentiate who they are and how they do what they do, why they're a little bit better, and why you want to come to them. And we help them that. It's such a fun win-win. Like, we love that part. Then we get into the actual research part of the study. And can you see, Stuart, those kind of sub-notes right there?
Yeah, that's not real English. That's not real.
No, it doesn't really look like real English. But what it is those are primary research that medical people go out and they find that in national level support what you're doing on a local level. And we go, hey, listen, here's what our dentist is doing, and here's how we're going to show that he's taking and utilizing these techniques. And then we're going to do the highlight reel of his nuances. And so this becomes such a key piece that very few people ever even look at or do. But Greg, if you had to sit with an IRS agent, you had primary research behind why you were doing what you're doing in your practice, doesn't that give you kind of a warm fuzzy? I tell you, it makes our CPAs, it puts a huge smile on their face, you guys. And it takes our tax attorneys, we have one in Arizona, one in Texas that do defense work. It's so exciting to our guy in Texas that he was doing a memo for a multi-million-dollar credit we were doing out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And when he wrote in there, he wrote, hey, listen, this has defended, and he went section by section in the code and says, I've got the defense here, I've got this, and he broke it all out. And when I was visiting with him afterwards, he said, Scott, can I just level with you? I've been doing this 2 decades. I focus on R&D. I defend it across the country for hundreds and hundreds of clients a year. And he goes, if I've got your study and I'm sitting with an IRS auditor, I'm going to win 100% of the time.
Nice.
And
Hey Scott, I gotta stop you. We got a couple more guests in the waiting room. I gotta stop you. We gotta make sure that I get them on. But I certainly would love to deep dive with you guys a little more. It's been a great introduction that we'll post out to the membership, and let's arrange another time for you guys to come on and spend a little more time. Is that okay?
We love it. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
That's been
Appreciate
great.
you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you being on.
Take care.
Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I hate to cut them off, but man, that we were deep diving there. That was going.
Yeah, they
that was
were,
going deep.
they were giving you the full-on, 94-page document.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the waiting room wondering what's going on. So let's do it. Let's bring Natalie Pay in. We're grateful for her
Woohoo.
patience. Grateful for her It's tough with a live show, Gregor. I hate cutting people off and stopping them when they're going, but man, they were Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Natalie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I have. It was like we had a main stage speaker that had missed the timer clock. Just kept going. So
It happened.
hey, we are so grateful to have you on. Let me introduce Natalie. So I don't know how many years we have our relationship now, but man, we've got to be over 10.
21.
Okay, so 21 with Webb. I don't know how many shows have we done together, Natalie?
11. This
Okay,
is my
so-
11th. This is coming up on my 11th.
Okay, so Natalie produces the annual event. So she stands in the back. She's in the booth. She's behind the scenes. She's the one. Like, so magically everything happens. This is like when you go to like a family dinner and then everything just comes together. That is what you do. It's like all the people, all the food, all the production. Natalie does it. And I thought it would be fun to was that good? Is there a better introduction to Natalie?
Yeah, you should talk to my family about having. You should talk to my family about it. It's an issue.
So the neatest thing about Natalie is she not only does our show, but hundreds of shows every year. And I thought it would be fun to have her on to talk about, from her perspective, what she sees happening at the annual event. So she goes to all these other shows. I don't go to a lot of shows, but she does. So I think it'd be fun to get your perspective of what is an annual event and what happens there.
I love it. Thanks so much for having me. It's great. I'm super glad to be here. And for those of you that don't know me or haven't had the chance to work with me, I should tell you that I'm a flag waving Crown Council member, even though I'm not a member. I have been part of Crown Council, as I said, for 11 years. I actually had the luxury of knowing about Crown Council before I came to work for Webb, the company I work for, because I was a partner with them for a couple of years. And I remember coming on to, when I started working at Crown Council really early on, the owner of our company described Crown Council, this is the way that he described it, as a dental convention that has nothing to do with dental, but everything to do with personal and professional development. And I remembered really early on thinking, that's like incredible. How much better our world would be if everybody actually did that, if they actually showed up and worked to strengthen themselves and everybody else around them. And I think the thing that I have been most impressed with in the last 11 years is that Crown Council stayed true to that. It is about helping each other and making sure that each person is the best person they can be. That's the thing that I've loved about doing it. I produce, our company produces hundreds of events a year. I produce probably 20 or more a year. And I've had the opportunity to move on from Crown Council. I produce a lot of really big events in the scope of the world that we live in. And I've fought to keep Crown Council in my little pocket because I love it. I love coming. And I think you and Greg and Stuart know that. I generally love it. And frankly, I have a team that comes with me. If some of you have been there before, DJ Steve, Will Young, I have a bucket of people who every year they just block it off their calendars. And they want to be there as well. So that speaks a lot about you guys as a whole. I'll give you a little bit of background about kind of what we do. So Webb's role on the show is kind of more sometimes behind the scenes. We manage a lot of the technical aspects of the show. We design the stage set. We manage the lighting and the sound and the video feeds. For those of you that were involved during the virtual world in 2020, we helped do a lot of that. Our company has a foundation in AV, but also does a lot of creative development. And so we do that. Greg and I were talking yesterday that the first year, 21 years ago, we brought some plants to the stage. That was our contribution, I think.
That was the stage set.
So we've hopefully increased a little bit over that. So now, but a good plant placement's important. But so we did that. We also do a lot of behind the scenes stuff that maybe all the attendees aren't aware of. We work a lot with the venue to make sure that the fire marshal is okay with us in the space that we have. We want to keep everybody safe, and we have to meet all these criteria, rigging criteria and spacing criteria. We work heavily on the diagrams and how the seats all fit together and how we can get everybody in the same space. And so we work really hard on that pre-show. We also work with Rachel on kind of the collaboration of the theme party nights and the stuff that she does. So sometimes she comes up with an idea and we figure out how we're going to execute it. Yeah. So that's those are sort of the things that we do. I think that what kind of makes it different, what makes this show different from a lot of the other shows that we do is that there's a value in kind of the repeat. A lot of people come back every year after year. And so finding that balance between what is important traditionally and historically to keep and what is important to be new and exciting and different. I think that's one of the things I've always admired about the show. I also love Crown Council does something that is somewhat unique. And that is that in a lot of our other shows, there's kind of this thing that happens behind the stage and everybody's behind the stage and we execute the show from behind. But the thing I love the most is about how about the people who come to Crown Council get a standing ovation before they even start. And I think that it sets a mentality in their heads and in the mentality of everybody in the audience that you start out at the best. You don't end with the best. And it makes a difference. So it's always the thing I've admired about you guys. So.
Very cool. Yeah, I wonder sometimes how those first-time attendees, when people start standing up before the speaker comes on, if they're like, what are we doing?
Why are we doing this?
What is going on?
You can't believe how many times I've said to your speakers, "It's fine, just stand with me right here. I'm fine with you, and I'll tell you when to walk." And they're like, "How do I know when to walk?" And I said, "You'll know when to walk." And it happened every year.
That's fun.
We have a great relationship with Natalie and Webb. I often compare it to what's happened in the tax world. I think I am no longer able to file my own taxes. It has evolved in such a way, and the expectation of the result is so high, as you know, Natalie, that we've had to compartmentalize what we do. And we decided that we don't want to be good at what you do. It's too hard.
Right.
And so, people don't see that you've got 13 people behind the stage or out in front that are helping to put on a show so that it's just seamlessly beautiful.
That's true.
Well,
We
and
do.
you know what?
You know I love you. And so.
Another example of that too is that, you guys used to the year that we kind of took on taking all of your stuff on our trucks is another example of that. We have a little bit better mechanism to be able to transfer. For those of you that remember that year, that
You mean that you don't lose the pallets?
some stuff didn't arrive, and so, but that is totally true. And I think that what a value in just overall, letting people who are good at what they do the thing that they're good at.
Amen.
Well, Gregor already.
Recently, thank you, Natalie, for all you do.
Thank you. Yeah,
Right
Gregor,
back. Thank you.
Gregor was already marching around the office today, declaring how many days are left until
90 days from today. 90 days. 90 days out, Natalie.
Oh my
Get to
God. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be great.
Well, we're excited to have you here in Salt Lake this year. That'll be fun. So,
Thanks for joining, Natalie. Grateful for you.
we'll see you in 90 days.
Okay,
Or
thanks.
before.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
She's awesome, man.
That's fun. I don't know if members watching or listening think that is interesting, but to know kind of a piece about the annual event, there are so many pieces that revolve around the creation of what we do. I mean, it takes a year of planning with her and Rachel and the team here and Steve's team and the speakers, ordering the swag, booking a hotel 3 years in advance. I mean, there are so many things that all roll together to make sure that it's successful. But they are, man, you are correct, Greg. They are hand in hand with us to make sure the show runs. I would be interested to wear one of their headsets about to know really how seamless it all is when it comes to
Hey, why did the projector just go out?
I can't imagine that it's that seamless, but they sure make it look that way. So very cool.
They've got a lot of experience, and that helps.
All right, we have Blake Hadley. We're going to welcome him in. He's been waiting patiently. We're a little behind. So grateful for Blake. I'll introduce Blake. If you don't know, he's been on a few times with us before. So Blake is part of the My Social Practice team. What up?
Hey, Blake.
Greg, Stuart.
What's up, man? Hey, so Blake is as integral to Crown Council as we were just talking to Natalie that runs our annual event. Blake does so much for Smiles for Life and Crown Council and everything that we do here. We're so grateful for him and My Social Practice and all that they provide for even Crown Council members, not just our team. And Blake came up with this incredible idea for Smiles for Life that we've been toying with, and we're going to launch and do it for 2023. Maybe should we start there? I don't want to dive right into let's make everybody wait a little bit for this announcement. How about Blake? What are you working on right now? What's going on in dental offices around the country?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in dental offices. I think as far as, on the marketing side and what we've been working with practices a lot is just helping them figure out how to adjust to some of the changes that are happening, especially in social media. I think things are changing quite a bit, and so we're trying to help practices stay relevant and figure out what type of content they could be making to stay relevant. And I think that's a big part now with TikTok and short form video becoming becoming social media as Instagram is trying to keep up with TikTok. And so we're really trying to help practices stay relevant, come up with creative ideas, figure out how to make short form videos without having to dance. And, there's just a lot of new fun ways to create content now. And we're just trying to keep dentists up to date with that.
Nice.
So that's probably one of the biggest things, and as far as social media is concerned. And then of course, just with Google and how to get found more and get chosen more, and especially just locally in your local area. And that's always just been one of our goals as well. So
nice. If I'm a practice looking at using My Social Practice, and you say how is it that you actually help? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so some practices like to be more hands-on. So they like to create the content, they like to do most of the posting, but it's still hard for them to come up with ideas. So we can provide all of those ideas. Our creative team is constantly seeing what's trending and applying those trending ideas to dentistry. And so if you want to create the content, that's great. We'll just kind of get you started with the idea. And then for the practices that just kind of want to be hands off and they don't want to have to post and they don't really want to have to think about their social media accounts too much, we can manage it completely for them. We can post, we can respond to comments. If there's comments you need to see, we can escalate those to you, but we can take care of it as well. So that's kind of the two sides of what we can do.
Stu, I would say this about about our membership and how people relate to My Social Practice and what Blake does. It's a little like what I was saying about Natalie, that the world has become so confusing that it is difficult to be an expert in everything.
Yeah,
and a guy who is working hard, a gal, working hard in their practice to do the dentistry, does not often have somebody that's willing to take the deep dive into what it takes to be successful in the social media arena. And for the very modest investment each month in My Social Practice, you can have guys that are living it 24/7, 365, and know what it takes to be
What's working,
successful.
yeah.
And knows how to integrate it into the practice. I liked what you said, Blake. I mean, you'll meet them wherever they are. They want to be hands-on, great. If they don't want to be hands-on, great. And I've seen that in action. And you guys are great. You're awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Love
Greg.
working with you.
Now the real question is, how many practices have a Be Real account?
We haven't introduced Be Real too much. We haven't talked about that too much. But I have a Be Real account. I use it mostly with my family.
Same.
But yeah, maybe that's the next thing.
Next step,
We're
Blake,
dentists. Yep, I
integrating
know.
Be Real. This is
Yep.
us being real.
I'm showing my age that I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, you are. Yes.
I don't know. That's so new. Probably most people watching this do not know what Be Real is.
I know. I'm finally getting interactions with my 14-year-old daughter on Be Real. It's exciting.
You finally figure out how to communicate.
This is how we're connecting. Hey, so we want to introduce Smiles for Life 2023. Should I turn it to you, Blake, to make the kind of
Sure.
what?
I don't know if I have access to show my screen, but I can show.
I think you should.
Let me see. I can show a couple things.
Yeah.
Is that working?
Yep, you got it.
Okay. So I was just going to show the new design that we have done of the Whiten Your Smile and Help a Child, and the kind of fun typography that we use, the kind of bubbly type that I think appeals, for the children's charity side of this. And I think it's, we went with the new color. It's, I don't know what we're calling this color, mint.
Mint. Yeah.
I think that fits well with dentistry. So yeah, this is the new direction that we've gone. And then of course all the other materials will look like this that are coming in your box. But I think the thing that Stuart alluded to earlier was this new idea that we have for this year's campaign. And we didn't come up with this idea. This was actually mostly Crown Council and Greg and Steve that some practices were toying around with this idea and were really successful with it. And so we decided, hey, let's let everybody know about this great idea that we're going to try for 2023. So the idea is a whitening day, or a whitening for charity day is what we're going to call it. And so we have developed new materials where you can promote one day specifically dedicated to whitening for charity. Now, this is obviously, you can do it in addition to the 4-month campaign, but I think it just gets everybody kind of excited to reach a specific goal for one day. It can, you promote it, it's all you think about that day. It can be a non-production day or a production day. But you can pick the day. It's not the same day for everybody. So the posters and the materials that we've created have a blank spot where you can take a marker and write in what day you want it to be on. You can fill in the name of the charity that your local charity that you've picked, and we have a whole explanation of how to do it inside of the box. This in the information packet, we have different marketing ideas of how to market the day and how to use influencers to talk about the day and how to promote it on social media. And so we package it all up, and we think that this can be a really great idea for you this year or next year to get some more donations.
Very cool.
Greg, I don't know if you want to say anything else about what you and Steve had thought about. A lot of it came from, Steve, a couple practices that he worked with had a ton of success last year with this.
Yeah, I'd say a couple of things. First, we know that this is a very successful way to market whitening, because you get a 60-day run to talk to your patients and have your patients help you book more patients and provide an opportunity to focus on a day when your team is totally looking at doing something for charity and is providing an opportunity for your patients to not only your patients to engage, but people that they know. The one thing that we have learned about Smiles for Life over the years is everybody doesn't like doing it in the same way. There are a lot of people who are very successful in running the 4-month campaign and working it into their patient flow and making that as a contribution. There are others who struggle with that, and this is a way when you can sit down with your team and say, on July 2nd, we are going to dedicate ourselves to doing something for someone else and do it in a single day. I think it's a great way for more people to be involved in Smiles for Life, and maybe even those that are doing it during the 4-month span, even to concentrate and raise more money because they're dedicated on a day. And the materials are awesome. The materials are great.
Yeah, we really like how they turned out, and I love that point that you said, Greg. You know, we always try to get as many practices as we can. Even from my social practice clients, we try to push it as hard as we can so that we get more people involved. And I think, you know, for some practices, maybe the 4-month commitment is a little too much, but this is an amazing way for us to approach our clients and say, hey, let's just do it for a day and try it out and see how it goes. And, you know, maybe the next year they'd want to do it for the whole 4 months, but this is just a great way to get started and not big of a commitment.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I was kind of running numbers with Greg, and let's say March 22nd is a day where exclusively the practice is going to do whitening. This is the only, normally this day, you know, the practice is closed. And so now everyone's coming in on March 22nd is our only whitening patients. I don't necessarily know how many patients any particular practice could see on that day, but potentially, let's say 10, 12 came in, and the practice raised $2,500 in a single day for Smiles for Life. That alone is, I mean, Gregor, you know the numbers better than I do, but I mean, that's a bigger donation than most practices. Maybe 40% of Smiles for Life participants will do over the course of a 4-month period. So it really is I think it's a really fun way to involve the community and charities to point them all to this single day to really draw attention. So anyway, very cool. I think it's awesome.
We're very excited about it, and Blake, you guys have done a marvelous job getting us ready for this.
Well, thanks. It's always for our team. This is designing and coming up with all the materials for Smiles for Life is always one of the best parts of the year. We always enjoy being part of this campaign.
Thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
Hey, before you go, Blake, Gregor, let's say someone's watching and they say, well, I want to do this. What's the action item here for both a person who's not participating in Smiles for Life and an office who is participating in Smiles for Life?
For someone who is already signed up to do the Smiles for Life campaign, they don't have to do anything.
Okay.
All of this marketing material is in the marketing box that is coming, that includes everything you need to do to make Smiles for Life successful.
Okay.
So that works out great. For those who are not signed up for Smiles for Life, this is a very easy transition. All you have to do is go to bit.ly, bit.ly // and lowercase SFL 2023. SFL 2023, and you can sign up for Smiles for Life for next year.
Okay. Yeah, we are
Also on the Crown Council website.
Yeah, we'll include the links if you're watching the video when we repost. But also smilesforlife.org will direct you to sign up for Smiles for Life. So, and then remind me when boxes are going out.
They should be in every office by December 15th, which give you plenty of time to plan, especially if you're doing a whitening day and you want to do it early in March. You still have 60 days, which is what we recommend to plan a whitening day, get the whitening materials there, and order whatever else you need, the social signs and whatever.
Yeah, and as always, when you participate in the campaign, we put you on email list for My Social Practice, and we send you Smiles for Life specific digital marketing ideas every single week. So you will always know what to do and have all the materials that you need to download, or ideas of what to do with your box materials, and we'll put you on that list. I think it starts at the beginning of the campaign in March.
Yes.
I love that email too because it'll show you what other practices are doing as examples across the country. So you don't have to really invent. I mean, you can obviously be creative, but that's what I love about it is you'll see other offices and what they're doing for Smiles for Life Whitening. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Blake. I'll follow you on Be
Yeah.
Real. Can't wait.
All right.
You're awesome, Blake.
Hey,
Thank
you
so
guys
much.
are. Thanks so much.
Okay, man.
Talk to you
Appreciate
later.
it. Thanks.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right, day of whitening.
Great show, Stu.
Hey, yeah, everybody came. That was great. Worked out. Big shout out to the man behind the curtain, DJ. We're grateful for him for producing the show. And thanks for all of our guests. We're grateful that we could connect with so many awesome Crown Council members and resource partners and everybody that's part of this community. So get signed up for Smiles for Life. Get signed up for annual event. Can't wait to do them both. So thanks, Gregor.
Thanks, Stu. It's been fun.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.